Hi everyone, I'm Seyka.
And I'm Brian.
And we're making a baby.
Yeah, we are. You can start to see him a little bit now.
Yeah, you can start to see him. I got a belly working here. It's cool to see my whole body changing. And we do an update every once in a while throughout this pregnancy. The last one we did was at about 18 weeks.
It's been that long?
It's been that long.
Wow. Doesn't feel like that long.
Time flies. I know. I
Time's
just saw
really
that.
been flying.
So we are in our 25th week as of today. And it's been really, really cool to go through this whole process, to get to know our health providers and make decisions about how we're going to have this pregnancy and this birth has been really wonderful.
Yeah, it's been really fun. We feel like we've really selected our care providers and that is now very firm and moving forward, and that's really exciting.
Yeah. We have put up most recently a blog that has all of my supplements, vegan supplements on the blog. I'll link to it in the show notes. And coming up next, as soon as we gather enough time to put it together, it'll be some of our favorite books and content that we've been consuming. So that'll be some really amazing evidence-based podcasts that I just eat up. I just listen to them constantly. We also have some really great books. Some of my favorites have been Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, and the Hypnobirthing book has been really, really interesting, as well as a few other ones that I'll share with you guys in that blog. So keep your eyes peeled at the www.forgoodnesssakes.com/blog, and you'll see that pop up. We'll also add a book that we referenced in our video last time, which is The Birth Partner. Yep. And that's a book that maybe you can share a little bit about.
Yeah, well, I think I did talk about it last time, but basically it's written for the birth partner, and from that perspective, it's providing most of the same information I think that the birthing person would be experiencing, but it's from that alternate perspective, which is nice, because you still are so heavily involved as the birth partner, but not feeling it directly. So it's just a cool book with a lot of information and a different perspective.
Another interesting topic that I've been kind of wrestling with recently is getting connected to baby in utero. And I studied psychology, and I was part of a very small 6-person cohort that worked on an honors psychology thesis. And one of the women in my cohort was working specifically on mamas and babies and pregnancy and connecting to your baby, and how connecting to your baby in utero before birth can actually result in some really incredible health and psychological outcomes for the baby. So I have this background in my mind of it's really great to connect to your baby in utero, and yet I can feel him kicking, I can feel him doing stuff, but I have a hard time emotionally feeling very affectionate toward him. It's a strange disconnect. I maybe thought I would feel it by now, but I don't. Like, I look at our dogs and I love them so much. I look at you and I love you so much, not in that order. But with the baby, I have I don't know who he is yet. And so trying to figure out how to connect with the baby is a big part of what we're looking at doing. I've been looking at some really interesting research about how babies actually have a subconscious, or probably subconscious, we can't ask them when they're very, very little, but a subconscious connection to things that they heard when they were in utero. And so that has been something I've latched on to. So if you sing them a song, or let's say I have a song that I like to sing him, and maybe you have a favorite nursery rhyme that you like to sing, and then he'll even attach to those better in our own voices. So that's kind of my hack that I'll use to fake it till I make it with getting connected to the individual that we're growing. Because a lot of me feels like I need to receive him and watch him and listen to him before I'm able to connect to him on that heart level. But maybe this will help me access that a little bit more. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, that's cool. That sounds really fun. I'm in a similar place of it's hard to really connect with and bond with him at this point, and it's gonna happen so fast. And so it'd be cool to kind of like transition that a little bit before he gets here.
Yeah. We had a sweet meeting with our midwives this past week. And while she was palpating my uterus and feeling for him, my midwife was Lori. I'll say her name. It's easier. Lori was saying like, "Oh, hey, bud," as he was kicking. She was like, "Oh my goodness, look at you. How sweet." And like, she already feels like she's connected to him. And that was a really sweet like bridge for me where I was like, "Oh yeah, it is exciting. Like you get it that there's someone in there." And so I was kind of trying to access it through her. So that was a fun treat that I got to experience.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, midwives are like the perfect people to help access that connection because it feels like they're there to, facilitate connecting baby
Right.
and mama and baby and plant earth and all of that.
So cool.
It's so cool. So, some of our things that we like to do. Well, first of all, let's show the app how big baby is. We'll do the actual size.
All right, let me pull it up.
Our dogs, we live in the Portland area, and when we're filming this right now, it's during the 2020 wildfires where we had some incredible smoke, awful, the worst air I've ever seen in my life, and it was hazardous to go outside, and so we've been stuck inside. The dogs have been stuck inside for over a week, and this is the first time they're getting some fresh air, so they're a little extra rambunctious. I
Yep.
mean, he's not right now, but.
Okay, so this is zoomed out. So this is what he looks like zoomed out, which is pretty cool. It's starting to look pretty baby-like, at least in this rendering, right? And here's full size. He like barely fits on the screen, and he doesn't in a lot of ways.
So that's how big that baby is inside my stomach.
Isn't that crazy?
Is my stomach visible in the screen?
I think so.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
It's wild.
So cool.
Should we do some symptoms?
Let's do some symptoms.
All right.
It's funny, I keep joking that when our baby comes out, it's not going to look like this baby on the app, and I'm going to be like, "Hey, who are you?" Like, I'm going to become attached to the baby on the app, and then
All right, I'm going to do weeks like 23 and 24 and just look for a few.
great.
Since
Wait.
there's been so many. It's been
Oh.
like 6 weeks, so I'm not going to
Great.
go through every week, every
Got it.
symptom.
You're going to look for interesting symptoms.
Or ones that I think, maybe we haven't
They
talked
can
about
add
as much.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Hearty Appetite. Interesting. I don't know that you have had a heartier appetite, so I'm going to say no to that one.
So that's really interesting. I feel like I've had days where I'm so hungry and so tired.
Okay.
And it was really, but at usual, I don't think I'm eating more, except for those specific days where I'm like so hungry. I will eat anything. But it's really interesting because our midwives also just told us that baby doesn't just like grow. He has a growth spurt and then plateaus, a growth spurt and then plateaus. And so they actually, before I even brought up that there were specific days that I'm famished, she actually said there will be days where you're really tired. There will be days where you're really hungry, and you just need to honor that because it's going to be different from day to day.
Yeah, it's cool. Bloating. I think you've had some bloating, and you've definitely had like intestinal troubles.
Yeah, so I've had some bloating, and what he's talking about with intestinal troubles is a really interesting problem that's been coming up where I'll get like stabbing gut pain.
Ooh, that might be coming up in the next one. Maybe let's hold on to that.
All right, let's hold on.
Yeah. And then snoring is a symptom, but I have not heard you snore, and you fall asleep before I fall asleep, so I would definitely know.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with pretty strong no on that one.
That's accurate. As far
Also,
as I know,
also
you would know.
you wouldn't know that one. So that was a freebie for me. Bleeding gums. Oh, I think that one came up last time too. I don't think you've had bleeding gum.
I haven't.
Or tingling hands. Also haven't heard of that one. So I'm going to go with no.
I have had tingling hands.
Yeah? Should I click on it and read about it?
Sure. Is it talking about carpal tunnel?
It says that swelling can put pressure on the nerves in your wrists and cause aching.
Yep.
It's associated with carpal tunnel.
Yep.
If you work at computers, you got to do hand stretching breaks to make sure, and then make sure your arms, your wrists are straight and elbows aren't higher than your hands.
Yeah. I've been having tingling hands and like a sore wrists that I have to back off.
All right, let's go week 24. So now let's jump into that lower ab achiness.
Okay.
That's what this symptom says. So as your uterus continues to expand, the ligaments that support it stretch, which may cause some pain. Occasional lower abdominal achiness is normal, but if the discomfort is accompanied by symptoms such as fever, chills, or bleeding, see your practitioner. Does that sound about right? Does that sound kind of like what you've had?
Yeah, two different things. So I've had like the round ligament pain, which is just like under my belly bump. I get like a shooting pain, and it feels like a ligament that's having to stretch. So as my uterus is getting bigger, stuff is having to stretch, and it's uncomfortable. So that's what that's talking about. The intestinal pain that I was talking about is at dinner time. If I haven't eaten recently, that's what seems to bring it on.
Too much food at once.
No. Before I start eating.
Oh.
It's not
really
food regularly. And every midwife and doctor tells you have to graze. And it's really hard for me to do that. So I'm being a naughty patient and not following instructions. But what happens is it feels like massive gas bubbles. And I'm like, please fart or burp or something. And I'm like chugging seltzer water to try to get them, and nothing happens. And so I'm just like can't do anything. It's that painful. And eventually it goes away. So
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It does not sound fun.
It's not fun.
Gosh.
I can confirm that.
Pregnancy's crazy.
Yeah.
Another intestinal one is constipation. Have you had constipation?
You're supposed to guess.
Oh, right. I forgot about that part. I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure you've maybe had it like once or twice in the whole pregnancy, but I don't think you've had it recently.
Yeah. I don't have it. Yeah.
Nice.
I know. It's probably because whenever we've monitored how much food we're eating, or monitored like our macros, our fiber intake is like, I don't know, 6 times the daily recommended. So I don't have any for that
either.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lump these two together: blurred vision and migraines. I don't think you've had that either.
Nope.
You are killing it, babe.
Killing it.
Leg cramps, swollen feet and ankles.
No, I mean when we go on big hikes, like when we went on our 9.5 mile hike recently.
Yeah.
I felt like my feet were the size of balloons, and they were like throbbing kind of by the end, which is not usual for me. But then I took off my shoes and they looked normal. They just felt like that. So I've been really lucky with that, especially because I've had varicose veins since I was like 15. Thanks, Mom. Just kidding. She feels bad enough already. But I've had varicose veins, which would lead me to worse swelling, and luckily I'm just not dealing with that. So that's been really, really cool.
Cool.
Is that all of them?
That was all of them from those weeks. Yep.
Awesome. Anything you want to share about kind of what this process has been like for you, or any feelings that are coming up as you're looking into what the birth or life with a newborn will be like?
It's still just so surreal to me. Like, we've been really busy with work over the summer, and so I'm sure that's been like a pretty big distraction, but it just kind of doesn't feel like this is real yet. And so still not much is happening right now. It's more it's more like this thing we just have to plan around, or like this like condition that you have that we're trying to like help you with, and like discomfort and symptoms and stuff. But like it still is really hard for me to like connect with the baby and like really feel like what it's gonna be like. So yeah, I don't think I have anything interesting to say yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's listening to the different stories of people giving birth, and going through reading different stories, listening to different stories of all the different ways that it can happen. Some moms who even have the baby kicking them all the time are like, it takes them a little while after birth to even emotionally attach to the baby. Mm-hmm. So, and that's not, and they want to, they plan to, and it just doesn't happen. And so I try to give us a little bit of grace if that's the way that this goes, and the baby will be so loved and well taken care of and all of that, no matter when our systems kind of, click that it's a new individual in our lives.
Yeah. And I think, when stuff like this happens, I tend to cling to the things that I can control, or that I do have some sort of ability to influence. And so right now it feels like I and maybe we are spending time making sure our business is set up well and that our house is prepared and ready. And so it feels like more practical preparation, so that like the emotional alignment and everything will come more easily and fall into place, and we can focus on that when the time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for watching along with us. As always, send us a message on Instagram at For Goodness Sakes, or post a comment here on this video about what you'd like to see in the next episodes. Otherwise, we'll be adding blogs about pregnancy, about being plant-based and pregnant. We'll be adding lots of content on Instagram, and we are here to share with you whatever sort of good stuff that you would like to know. Next time, we'll try to talk about our birth plan that we have in motion and kind of what that all entails. And that's what we got going on here. So thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.